Hi everybody, my name is Ryan Kerwin, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of the French bow hold for young cellists. The bow hold is one of the most crucial techniques on our instrument because it allows us to control our tone production. To master the French bow hold, we don't even need to start with our bows or our cellos. We just need to learn how to make our French bow hold dog. Making your French bow hold dog is a relatively easy process. Step 1 is to place the tip of your thumb between the first knuckles on your second and third fingers. This makes the nose for your dog. You want to wiggle these back and forth to make sure your fingers are relaxed and your thumb is slightly bent. Next, you want to make the ears. To do this, just put your first and fourth fingers out from the rest of your hand and wiggle them around. As much as we love our dog, learning the bow hold on the cello means saying goodbye to the dog for now and saying hello to the pencil. Our pencil acts as an intermediate step between our dog and our bow that allows us to practice our hand placement. To start, hold your pencil with your left hand with the tip pointing to your left and the clip pointing down. The clip will take the place of the frog, where you put your hand. Once your pencil's in position, slide it right in between your thumb and the knuckles of your second and third finger. Make sure that your thumb is still slightly bent, your fingers are still mostly relaxed, and then you can drop your first and your fourth finger onto the pencil. This is our bow hold. Now that you understand the basics, it's time to practice our position on the actual bow. Start by holding the bow or the frog in your left hand with the wood facing down. Now, just like your pencil, place the wood between the knuckle on your second and third finger and the tip of your thumb and slide back and forth to make sure that your hold is relaxed. After you do this several times, slide down to the frog with your right hand, but still hold the bow with your left hand, and place your thumb on the ledge of the frog, and your second finger half on the hair and half on the silver. Once your right hand has been placed correctly, you can gently move the bow to rest position with the tip facing up and the frog resting on your leg. It's very important to note that we only ever hold the bow in rest position or on the strings. Once you have your cello and your bow in rest position, lead from the elbow and flop the bow onto the D string. Even after your bow is on the strings and your hand is in a good position, there's still some things you need to know. Making a resonant tone on the cello is dependent on our position, our weight, and our speed. To find good bow position, we need to think about three things. First, the position of our bow on the tone highway. If we imagine the space between the fingerboard and the bridge as a 5-lane highway, we always want our bow to be near 2. Next, we need to think about rotation. If we think of the wood rotated all the way towards our face as 0, and the wood rotated all the way away from our face towards the ground as 10, we want to hold our bow at a nice 4, slightly tilted towards our face. Last but not least, we always need to consider T for tone, which means that making a resonant sound is dependent on our bow always being perpendicular to the string on which we're playing. We are so darn close to making our first tone on the cello, but before we do, we have to consider weight. Weight describes the weight of our right arm pulling the bow into the strings. To have appropriate weight on the cello, we need to remember two things. First, we want to pronate our right hand. This is a fancy word which means rotating our hand into our body. From your bow hold, you can imagine pouring some water into the cello. Finally, You want to make sure that you're always moving the bow using your back muscles. To test to make sure you're doing this, just try wiggling the string back and forth while maintaining a good bow hold. Once you're able to wiggle back and forth, just practice moving along the length of the bow to make your first tone. When you practice your tone, you want to make sure that you're achieving rich, resonant sounds. You can think of that like the sound of being similar to the sound a whale makes. If your tone is very light, you might have to increase the weight of the bow into the string. If you've done that and your tone is still too light, you might need to check and make sure that your position is correct. Goodbye for now. I hope that this video is helpful in giving you tips for your beginning French bow hold.